Son, that's right. I'm here to come and dunk on you, son. Patrick Ewing style. Facundo Torres to Orlando City, as I told you. I told you I had the finger on the pulse of what was going on with this situation, but you doubted me, and he's coming to pass. Woo! Some sources say $10 million. Some sources say $13 million. I don't care. This kid is coming to Orlando, a quality player. Long past the days of signing waste men like Justin Marin and the likes. And I'm super excited at the Wolves, what they're doing. Now, Gaston Gonzales out of Unión de Santa Fe, Argentina. That's happening. I know. Because I, again, have the finger on that pulse. But some of you will still doubt it. So I just want to let you know that if you survive the No Scope 360 dunking that I'm going to be doing on you this weekend, I'm going to do it again. On to you. Vamos, Orlando!
How you doing, people? How you doing? It's Monday, January the 24th, 8:35 p.m. Thank you so much. This is Loud and Proud Orlando. Thank you so much again. Check us out on Facebook as Loud and Proud Orlando, as well as YouTube. If you're on YouTube, leave us your comment. We're going to read every single comment as it comes. If you just want to watch, sit tight. We have a lot of information today. Thank you so much for your support and also to supporting this wonderful club, which is Orlando City Soccer Club. Facebook, YouTube, and also Twitter at LPL Podcast. My name is Luis Carlos Pineda. I have here Mr. David Valentin next to me as well. We have a lot to talk about. One of the biggest signings in the MLS today. If you're not aware of who Facundo Torres is, you probably will know now. You can make fun of his name, when it comes to Facu, whatever you want. They even put the English, how do you pronounce it, on the website. You can check it out as well. But it's here. He's here. He's real. It's tangible. And I think we fought. It was a hard fought battle indeed. But I think Orlando came on top. Proud of the front office. Proud of Ricardo Moreira as well, being part of this as well. Big part, and definitely an exciting player that comes to Orlando. We're going to talk about today the state of the team, Facundo Torres. We're going to talk about some of the announcements. You probably saw it on my Instagram. You probably saw it on David's Twitter. Ercan, Gaston Gonzales. We're going to talk about also the depth that this team is building for 2022. And obviously Orlando City preseason. And again, I also want to announce LPO podcast, Loud and Proud Orlando, is here to stay. We're going to definitely do this every Monday at 8:30. We're also available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Please subscribe. We're under Loud and Proud Orlando. And, my tenure on Area Sports Network has concluded as of last week. And I want to announce that live because I think it's due. There's no harm done. They're great people. It's just that I am dedicating fully to Loud and Proud Orlando to provide you the best content possible. And I want to say hello to them as well if they're watching. So, moving on. Dave, how are you, man?
Fantastic. And if you're hearing the sound of my washing machine, it's probably washing the tears of those that doubted us. And I want to say that there's a lot of people on social media who were skeptics of the Facundo Torres story and of Gaston Gonzales, which we will be talking to later. I have to tell you that for a club that had only done a big splashy move, and that was Josue Colman out of Paraguay, Cerro Porteño, for those that forget. And that was a $3 million move. And right now, that is the type of cash that the Wolves probably have in their ashtray in their car or on the floorboards of their car. This is a statement to this fan base. I have to be honest with you. I was very skeptic of Mark Wilf. And like many of you know, my only interactions with Mark Wilf, or the only things that I knew about the man, was him and his family were involved with the North American Jewish Federation. It's no secret right now that to a lot of people that my faith is Jewish. And I had here the guy. He came to the JCC, the Jewish Community Center in Maitland a few years back, and he was the owner. Him alongside with his brother and cousin were the owners of the Minnesota Vikings. That's all I knew about the guy. The guy came down, went on television in the morning shows, and said, "Vamos Orlando, we're gonna make it happen." And like everybody else, we have heard that same song and dance before, but they went and got one of the hottest products in South America right now. How do we know this, my friends? When you have people going online saying that we're breaking families, that this couldn't happen in a worse time, because the idea, my friends, and I have said this on my blog, I have said this on Tiro de Esquina podcast, everything that I've seen about Facundo Torres on Uruguayan television, the people that are talking to you, the experts of football in that country, know zero about our league. They are saying Facundo's great, Facundo's the future, Facundo's a jewel, Facundo has a future in Europe, but they never say that MLS is the place for him. They just can't understand why Facundo Torres and his family wants to come to Orlando. I have to say, Luis Musi, and especially a man that never gets any praise, and that's Ricardo Moreira. And Ricardo, if you're listening, my man,
Yeah.
you
Parabéns.
know,
Parabéns.
you know that none of this would have happened if it wasn't for your work. How many times you are online and you see this man posting videos, working on a Saturday night out of 1000 Bill Beck Boulevard in Kissimmee? That's the facility there for us, our training facility. How many times this man is traveling away from his family to provide you with a team that you can be proud of. We have a luxury in this, man. And Ricardo, if you are listening, if you're watching, please, I hope you stay for a lot of years, because a man of your dedication, of your work ethics, of your quality, a man that just doesn't buy players just because the money's there. He is responsible to his employers of spending the money wisely. People like that are hard to come by. And I conclude, also, I have to say that Mark Wilf deserves praise alongside with um, with everybody else in the front office, to be honest with you, but Luis Musi in particular, because you are delivering on a promise, a fan base that all they know is broken promises, half baked ideas, uh, changes that only play to nostalgia, to better times in a lower league, to known names by this fan base. You actually have thrown that out the door and brought us great talent. I have to say, and I'm gonna disclose it because the cat's already out of the bag. Those of you that were on the um, community gathering on Twitter with our friend Sergio Ruiz Torres. For those that don't know, he is the producer of Nación Púrpura, which is a Spanish outlet covering Orlando City, and also the Spanish voice of Orlando City on the radio. Well, my source has always been Jorge Torres. Who's Jorge Torres? Jorge Torres is no other than the father of Facundo Torres. Jorge reached out to Tiro de Esquina podcast in early December. He just basically wanted to know, hey, I wanted to find somebody who spoke the language that will tell me if it's a good club. Am I wasting is my family and my son wasting their time? Is it a good city to live? What's the league like? And we spent plenty of time talking about all these subjects. Obviously, I gave a good report about Orlando City. I'm an Orlando City fan, but also I'm an honest person too. And I told him, I said, hey, based on how your league is, I think Facundo's gonna have a big challenge at a league that is basically it runs in two of the biggest countries in the world, and travel is gonna be difficult. This and that and the other, and that's the person. That has been my source. That has been my source in this whole thing. I can conveniently say it now. I would have loved to have him here, but unfortunately, it can't happen. But Jorge is an individual that loves football, and more importantly, loves his son, and wants the best for him. And as somebody that is a contemporary to him, I cannot say how happy I am to know this person, because he seems like a genuine guy, somebody that wants his son to succeed. And as a father, if you're a parent, you know how it is. You want the best for your children, and this is truly a dream come true for this family, life changing, generational changing, because they're just a middle class family. Facundo's dad just has a job like you and me, and his son one day said that I want to be a football player, and at the age of 10 he started in the academy. Fast forward 12 years later, and today not only is he playing for Orlando City in the United States, which for a lot of Latin Americans this is a dream come true. Um, he's also representing his country, and just not
Right.
any country. This is a world champion, and a nation that knows their football.
No, I didn't have the luxury to have that contact for sure. My sources were, and I'll bring it. I'll tell you as well. Typically you don't reveal your sources, but I mean I understand the matter. I mean the cat's out the bag. Vamos que vamos, one of the biggest TV shows in Uruguay right now. Podcast. Well, it's not a podcast; it's a radio show, soccer radio show in Uruguay. Some of the guys there are very very candid, and they had a lot of information. Telemundo Uruguay. These are reputable sources from there. And I understand the matter. It's just when you have to handle and you have to deal with a club like Peñarol, and that's probably what a lot of people understand. And I have we're going to read some comments here. I have Hector Ayala, for example. He says, "What do you guys think about all the hate from the club from Peñarol fans? First and foremost, you know, MLS, the MLS is one of the most ascending leagues in the world. They are in an ascending manner. They're not descending, they're ascending. They're growing every day. Every year they grow even more. 2026 is coming very soon. It's the World Cup. You guys can probably tell the United States men's soccer team, it's has a lot of depth and a lot of weapons, playing in some of the best clubs in the world. So the United States is definitely going to make a statement for sure. I don't doubt it about that. There's a system now in place. It's no longer the MLS of Echeverry and Winalda and Alexi Lalas. It's not that MLS. It's the MLS of post Landon Donovan. And when it's there's young talent going to Europe at an early age. Some of South Americans don't know that because soccer over there is the number one sport of football, no,
Mhm.
right?
Correct.
So a club like Peñarol fans are so dedicated and so gung ho. You know, they're not gonna understand. How in the MLS things are a little different than in other leagues, and they don't understand the whole process of the MLS and how it has improved. They don't realize that. They're talking about fan to fan. And just like Orlando fans are a bunch of trolls too, because I've seen it online. They got their own trolls too, but they're just a little bit more of crude black humor. And trust me, I'm from Peru, and they love that. We love dark humor, and it's just a matter of fact that for them, Facundo Torres was their Neymar. It's like Neymar when he was in Santos. To put it in a comparison, to put in a comparison. So for them, Facundo Torres was a player that they dearest to their heart. They never wanted him to leave, and if he would have left, they expected him to go to a Barcelona, to a Bayern Munich, to a Chelsea. But the thing is, he decided, no, I want to follow a path of growth, in which I don't want to burn myself going to a huge club right out of Peñarol just by winning one championship, one Uruguayan Cup. I don't want to burn myself. I don't want to come back to Peñarol failing. I want to go ahead and win cups in a league that I know I'm probably going to excel on. I want to go ahead and put some cash in my pocket, maybe some in the savings account as well. I want to make sure to contribute to the growth of some club that's going to contend for a championship. And from then on, I'll follow the steps of, several other players that are about to leave the league. Diego Rossi, for example.
Hmm.
You know, Diego Rossi is the best example, and he's part of the Uruguayan national team as well, just like him. So the MLS is well, for the players in South America now, especially the markets of Uruguay, Peru, I can definitely vouch for that, is very well thought of by the players. Some fans are still skeptics, just like we have skeptics in Orlando City. Let's just be completely honest. Completely honest. You know, whether you cite the source or not, there's still skeptics, and it's okay. It's okay for the club never to reveal. There's MLS rules and things they have to abide by. Of course, that's why it took so long for this probably to be announced.
Yeah,
But
about that. Basically, what happened, the reason why it took forever. Actually, I Jorge was asking me what's going on, why they are not announcing it, because I have to tell you, while Facundo's still with the national team, that guy can't wait to jump on the airplane and come here. That's a point. So what had happened was the league delayed the announcement because press release document had not been signed. That was done over the weekend, and obviously the club now announces it. I had a source from Orlando City, from the club, that reached out to me on Twitter after I posted that, stating that it's not the club's fault, because a lot of people are
right, right,
saying
right.
that we're competitive. It's not the club's fault at all. This is the league. Once
Of course.
once both parties, both clubs agreed, okay, we're gonna purchase this player. Now the league takes over, and the contract that Facundo signed is with MLS, not with Orlando City.
Right, and it makes sense. Like I honestly I knew it, like, because things like that sometimes are like in my home country are the same way, and in big clubs and some leagues are that way also. And you're talking about, Peñarol is one of the youth academies in South America, one of the top. I mean, you have Independiente del Valle, which the coach of Charlotte FC comes from that academy, by the way. So just we
Hmm.
have to keep an eye on Charlotte FC. They're not going to play around. There's some
Right.
good players also, and the guy is a mastermind, a mastermind in tactics. He knows how to play
Absolutely.
you out. Um, and I'm saying it's Independiente del Valle, Peñarol. A lot of the good players come from those academies. Santos de Brazil, obviously, because you have obviously Neymar, Gabigol came from there as well. So, you know, there are certain clubs that are breathing ground of stars, and Peñarol is one of them. And so he won the Uruguayan Championship in 2021. He scored in the championship match. He was named one of the best players in Uruguay in 2021. He's made already his senior international debut for Uruguay last June. He's competed and scored, was a top scorer in Uruguay in very youth levels. And he's made already five appearances in Copa America, in last year's Copa America, you know. And he Uruguay went to the quarterfinals. So he was part of that. So he has a lot of experience, a lot of experience. I understand, obviously, he's not a Ronaldo, he's not a Messi, but we got a player that's going to be able to compete for 90 minutes, right? Just go like this, throw the sweat in the floor, and keep going. Rather than asking for a sub, hey, come on, man. No, no, no. We're not getting a name. We're not getting a Nocherino. I don't want to bring names out. We're not getting, Adrian Winter. We're not bringing. We're bringing a talented player that any other club in a different situation would have grabbed right away, and we actually got it. And this is the job of the great organization that Orlando City has now, and I think we're very blessed for that, because after years of defeats and horrible signings, we finally get a couple of signings that are very exciting to talk about. So,
Mhm.
um, he's a Lion now. I'm sure he'll come. After he gets his visa, his paperwork, and after he defends Uruguay for the qualifiers, for the World Cup qualifiers with
Right.
Uruguay, he should be heading to Orlando City.
February 2nd, it's his expected arrival.
Exactly. So, let's do some comments here for the people. This is here. Thomas Dupree, no more late summer slump.
Amen.
Right. Says Victor Rivera, the source was on point. David was on top of it. Matthew, hype for 2026, big year for soccer in the USA. I guarantee it. I think United States, and United States has the infrastructure to succeed in this World Cup, and I think it's going to be a huge buzz for the sport. And I mean, it's a winning sport, right? You have to score goals, and I think I have no doubt. I mean, the U.S. men's national team has a lot of depth.
And Luis, it's critical that we in Orlando go and support the national team versus Panama.
Yeah,
We
sure.
cannot go to the World Cup committee and say, "Hey,
Right.
because we hosted in
We have
'94,
to
we should
pack
host
it.
now." We have to go. We have to go. I know.
We have to
Listen,
pack it.
I know it's not cheap. I'm planning to go with my whole family, even if it's in row double Z, which is the last one up top. We need to show up.
That's right. And this goes for the supporter groups also. They need to they need to support national team as well. Jim D, we've had years of promises and hype with little to show of it, but now it seems like it's being delivered. That's when you get somebody that truly wants to compete, and that was the promise of the new ownership when they first arrived. I was there
Hmm.
in the press box. I was there in the press box. I was witness that they definitely came and they want to make this a championship contending team. And I bring this again, and I think I put it on Facebook on one of the groups. Do you think NYCFC, when Alexander Callen signed, the fans knew who he was? What about Jesus Medina? What about Tati Castellanos? What about Heber, or Heber? Do they didn't know who they were, right? They were names.
Nobody knew who Daryl DK
They were
was.
right. They were good, properly scouted players that had success in other leagues that were in a young age, in an age that it's an average age to play the sport for 90 minutes nonstop, and they're going to have high productivity, and they're going to be able to buy them at a cost, obviously, negotiable cost, but you know that's what NYCSC did after failing with Lampard, after failing with Pirlo. There you go. That's the way to go. Another Orlando City SC, not friendly neighborhood club, Atlanta United. Same model. Barcos. You know, you had then some of the youth academy there with with a couple of people. Brad Guzan in his prime. They got a good keeper. They had the Venezuelan guy too, Joseph Martinez.
Hmm.
You see, and they got him after success in other leagues down south.
And
Properly
as a
scouted
second
players.
choice, by the way.
Exactly. So it wasn't like they got a Mesut Sil, or they got a, I don't know, a Matuidi or Iwain, just to give you an example. See what I'm saying? That's the way the MLS is working now. That's the MLS is going, and that's people are seeing this is how championship contending teams are working now. This is, I think, what I want to do with my team, and I totally respect that because I know, for example, if this Orlando City team goes and plays against the top team in Peru, just to bring up an example, definitely, definitely, Orlando City could win with a team
Hmm.
like that. They could contend in Copa Libertadores, they could contend in Sudamericana. The level is a little higher, but the league is getting there. Less names, more brains, and more skill, and more youth. You got to get
Absolutely.
younger. Lions blog, best talent ID in the league. This is for you know
Ricardo.
Ricardo Moreira. Question: Is it a statement considering we broke even with the Dika sale in this move? I think going out and getting Kara is the statement. Yeah,
Hey, Luis,
Rodolfo.
if I can jump on that one for a second.
Sure.
Um, One of the things that we have to remember, and Luis and I had this conversation privately. Luis called me the other day too about the topics, and I told him the Will family has a story. The American dream. I mean, if they made a movie of these people, people will get surprised about it. The parents of who we call the Wills, right? Mark, his brother, and his cousin. They are Holocaust survivors. They lost everything, all their family, and they came to this country penniless, and they worked themselves into a $5 billion fortune. That you have to be ruthless in business. Mark Wolf is hates losing. He wants to be first on everything. He likes to bust balls. He demands excellence from the people around him. He's not the type of guy that you want to piss off, and excuse my language. And that's basically what it is. That's what it takes to make $5 billion in the United States of America. So when he said, "I want to be a champion," people laughed. Oh, the Minnesota Vikings are not that great. Well, they double the value of this team under their management, and it's you can compare NFL talent with MLS because with MLS
Correct.
you have the whole world.
It's a
With
different story.
NFL, you just have
Right.
college football, right? That to pick
Exactly.
from. And with this, I give the microphone back to Luis. The fact of the matter is that what we've been paying for these players, these are investments that the Will family can make because they have $5 billion in the bank, and they also have a successful NFL team creating wealth. Okay, creating enough, it covers its overhead and creates wealth. Okay, that's what they want to do with Orlando City. In the past, Orlando City was taking money away from the ownership and returning very little. That's the reason why eventually they sold.
Right. And yours truly says, is Facundo getting as much or more hype than when Nani signed with Orlando City? Um, well, I'm hyped because I mean I've known about this kid for a while now. I have a podcast in Spanish called Ladra el Fútbol. We cover South American soccer. It's in Spanish and Peruvian league and everything. So Facundo Torres has been a target of several teams in the last year or two. I mean, top teams in Premier League, in Spain, in several leagues, and the Brazilian league also. You know, and when I heard that he's coming to Orlando City, honestly, I was like, this is great. This is the way the team is going to go now. This is the way we're going to go as a team. I like this. We're definitely going to compete now. We have a core. We have a good coaching system. We have a good front office. Everything is coming to peace, and and that's what it told me. I personally was hyped. Now Nani, obviously, he's won everything you want to win as a soccer player. Nani has won. He was in a Euro. He's won the Premier League. He's played alongside Ronaldo. He's one of his best friends, and he is a mastermind player and a
And a leader.
wonderful, a leader and a work ethic person. I mean, his work ethic is tremendous, and I can speak to that. First person to get into training, last person to leave. So definitely, surely missed, but you know,
Gotta
it's
move forward.
we gotta support the team. We gotta move forward. Messi left Barcelona. You know what I mean? Ronaldo left Real Madrid. I mean, we're
Hmm.
talking about players of a caliber, not maybe as Nani, but is an icon of a team, and Nani was our
Right.
icon. Now we're
And
in the
I think,
search now we're in the search of collective play to win
hmm
games,
and
not
Luis,
just
one of the things
name.
that to me surprised me is when Nani went to Venezia. As we all know,
He
a lot
scored,
of people were like, "Oh, he's still playing."
and
Oh,
he
well, I was wondering what
yeah, but he
happened to him.
scored his first
Right,
match,
right,
his first
right.
game.
And this is the thing. People, he fell off the radar. Now, Facundo Torres is an up and coming player. Perhaps in Europe, they don't know who he is. They will find out soon. But the difference here to me, the hype, yes, great name, recognizable, sells a lot of T-shirts, a lot of jerseys. But Facundo, if you even if you don't speak Spanish, if you use Google Facundo Torres or go on YouTube and look at videos of him doing media, this man is what Messi is in Argentina. Facundo Torres is right now
Yeah,
in Uruguay.
yeah, they regard him as the future of Luis Suarez and Cavani. You have to understand, both of those players are almost in the end of their careers. They
Mhm.
probably have one last World Cup chance. This is the one. Peru is fifth in the qualifiers. They're getting right up there. It's going to be a hard fought battle for that fifth place in the CONMEBOL qualifiers. Let's see what happens. We have, they have this guy too. You know what I mean?
Yep.
This guy's a beast. He doesn't play around. And we're gonna just jump into to a different subject here, and I want to kind of talk about the depth of Orlando City, and it ties in to what we're talking about right now. And then after I show this, I want to go ahead and speak. We're gonna talk about Ercan and Gaston Gonzalez. We're gonna talk about all of that. Um, and so this is what we have here. I'm gonna go ahead and take this and put it right there. No, actually, right here is probably better. There you go. All right, so this is the depth of Orlando City 2022 right now, with the rumors, right? With the rumored players to join the team as well. So, just looking at the keeper, you have Pedro Galese, you have Mason Staduhar, and Greeny, right?
Adam,
Four out back, you have on as right back Ruan and Holiday. Now Holiday can also play the left, as well as Kyle Smith. So you could either put either or there.
yeah, plug and
As
play those guys.
right as left back, you got Moutinho and Kyle Smith, right? Moutinho and Kyle Smith. Center back, you have Jensen and Rodrigo Schlegel, right? This is what we have there, and in For right center back, you have Antonio Carlos. That's why I put AC. And you have the young kid Williams. And just to know, and I think he mentioned it, David mentioned it earlier, Williams and Holiday are in the under 20 U.S. men's national team right now. And, if the U.S. men's national team has seen something in them to be called up, it speaks volumes, right? It's because they've seen him in
Mhm.
action. So this is promising. Plus, we have in the youth academy, right? OCDB, we're going to have Kembol Guadalupe, great center back as well. So that's the depth that we have out back. When it comes into the mid, I mean, I like a 4-2-3-1. I think a 4-2-3-1 for Orlando City will work perfectly. This is something I would like, Luis Pineda is what I would like. Now, obviously, Oscar Pareja can align however he wants to. He's the coach of the team. I'm not trying to say that that's the way it's going to be lining up, but it's something that I think it would work better for Orlando City. You have just on left on center midfield, right? You have Junior Urso, you have Cesar Araujo, the new sign up, right?
Mhm.
Great player, phenomenal player, and I think Miguel Gallardo was speaking to it with that with Weston also on their. They're evaluating and talking about the new signings. I saw it on their Twitter, and that was spot on. We kind of agreed that Araujo is a physical player. For his young age, he's definitely going to recoup the ball. So we're trying to stop turnovers here, people, right? Stop the turnover, right? And then we have Joey Dezart, right? So you got three on one side, and we have two on the other side, which we all know who they are. We have Mendez and Perea. They're still in the team. Then right here at number 10, we have Mauricio Pereira, right? And we have Wilfredo Rivera. I would see, and Rivera can play also as a center mid as well. But
Yeah,
he's more,
he's a
he's
7 and a 10 with Puerto Rico.
yeah, he's more attacking mid in my opinion. He's more attacking mid. And on the wings, left wing, Facundo Torres, obviously, right? And we have Benji Michel. Right wing, Sylvester Vanderwater, and Gaston Gonzales. Gaston Gonzales plays right wing. He's another target for Orlando City. It's sources say he's already on Orlando. He's already about to sign.
Yeah, we can talk about that later.
He's accepted the offer, but we'll talk about that later. And then right up top, you have Tesho Akindele, Jacqueline, Alexandre Pato, and you have Ercan Cara, right? Another target, right? According to Transfer Market, it's a done deal. He's already accepted. His club has accepted also. We're going to talk about that later. But Pato plays center back. Now, that's depth. So I want to see your comments here. It says here Joshua Tallis is looking. It says here Lions blog. It says my David MLS now says that Pareja Lions blog will have a lot of pressure on him to succeed now that he's been back financially and thinks he could be fired if we don't get a home playoff spot. Do you agree?
Well, this is not speculation and this is not hearsay.
Right.
This is something that a lot of people brought up to me, that was a possibility. And we're just gonna leave it at that. It's a possibility because I don't want to call it a factual, because obviously I don't know. But that, if you all remember the reaction that Oscar Pareja had when DK scored the winning goal against DC, and a lot of people were taken aback because okay, we won it and everything, but he was hugging his staff as he had won a championship. The reality, my friends, is that he was in the hot seat. Mark Wilf, like I said, is a very demanding boss, and he demands quality. And at that time, everybody in the front office, even the guy that checks your tickets, probably was under scrutiny because at that time they wanted to get rid of, quote unquote, the people that had failed to elevate Orlando City to where it needed to be. And Oscar Pareja was given the opportunity, because you guys remember we lost 4 games in a row. And with that said, I think that my personal opinion is saying that this year it's is unrealistic, because we're gonna have a new team, a young team. It's a team that's gonna make mistakes, a team that is gonna lose games, a team that is gonna have to learn to be a cohesive unit, and us as fans, we're gonna have to learn to be patient. This team is gonna be dangerous. If you look back at Tata Martino and Atlanta United, that first year they got to the playoffs, they got bounced out by a lesser
Um,
qualified team in Columbus, but they came back the following year and they killed and they crowned themselves champion. I think that's what's gonna happen here. Would I love to lift silverware this year? Absolutely. But let's be honest, guys. This is a reset button, really. And to say, hey, if we don't do this, you're gone. If you're gonna do that, give me the name of the person that you want replacing Oscar Pareja. Otherwise, we're doing what we just what
I
we
honestly, I mean, I just wanna be clear. I honestly disagree. Believe it or not, I do.
Mhm.
I mean, th- we have a core in this team already. We've kept the core. You know, talking about him getting, sacked or not sacked, I think it's too early to say. And I think it's really speculation. I mean, I haven't had a beer or a cup of coffee with the Wolves. Neither I have a cup of coffee or a beer with Oscar Pareja. There's really, honestly, I don't know if that is, because we're kind of saying that it is, and I highly doubt that is the fact. Personally, I think Pareja has now the opportunity to bring the players that he feels are going to be needed for Orlando City and the weapons he needs. And I think we have good depth and a good young B team as well on OCP. Some kids that can probably fill out some spots. Now, am I saying we're going to win the championship? Uh, I would love so. Will I say that we're going to make the playoffs? Sure. I can see with this team making the playoffs.
Absolutely.
I mean, personally, I see us making the playoffs with no problem. I mean, you're talking about Ercan Kara, 14 goals last season, 4 assists, playing in Austria and Europe. You have Facundo Torres, has won everything at the age of 20. Then you have Gaston Gonzales, targeted for top teams in Chile, top teams in Peru, top teams in Colombia. Everybody wanted him on the right wing. One of the best performing players in the Argentinian league. They call him like a phenom and a future, right wing for the national team. Also, he has even a picture with Messi. And so, and then we have the core, right? Ruan and now Holiday. He's gonna get some playing time. Antonio Carlos. If you've seen his, I mean, I mean, no player in the team wants to go through a tough preseason and just go into the first game of the season and lose.
Hmm.
I think I have faith that we can definitely make the playoffs. And if we have a Pato that's healthy, and is sure he looks like he's healthy. I mean, for what I've seen, and I have pictures too for preseason. Thank you to Orlando City Communications. Um, you know, I mean, look, Eric Cara and Pato, and again, I'm going to show you this, and then we can move to Eric Cara and Gaston Jimenez. Let me just show you the positions that Facundo Torres can play. I'm going to go ahead and show you that right here. So these are the positions in the field that Facundo Torres can play. I'm going to tell you how many goals he has scored in each position. Left wing, 59 games, 13 goals, 10 assists. Obviously, this is his preferred spot, the left wing. He's played as a second striker. It's his little SS right there, right? 5 games, 2 goals, 3 assists. So he plays right below the top right there, right below the top striker, the center forward, right? Then you have he's played attacking midfield. He's played 3 games, 1 goal, 1 assist. And then right winger. Now his favorite spot, right? He's played 4 games as a right winger with Peñarol, and has 1 assist. So this is the depth of this caliber of a player. That's what I'm talking about. And this is gonna come into play when we have tough games against, maybe, because we're gonna be playing to some heavy teams too, and teams from out west too. So you have a lot of options with Facundo Torres right there. Obviously, his favorite spot is going to be the left wing, and I know he's going to be the starting left wing when the season starts. I know for a fact. And there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Um, when it comes to Gaston Jimenez, right, the target, I want to show
Gonzalez.
you. I want to show you what he plays up top. Look at all the positions he's played in his career, and at such a young age, right? As a right winger, he's played 7 games, scored 5 goals, 2 assists. Right, as a center forward, he's scored 0 goals, but he's played 2 games. He's played attacking midfield once, 1 game, 0 goals, 0 assists. Right midfield as well, 1 game, 0 goals, 0 assists. And left winger also. He's played that position, and he has 5 goals and 3 assists as a left wing. So he could play both wings, right there and there. I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, another player that could play and could be depth. You know how you have on that image that I show you, we had Alexandre Pato, Ercan. Now, Alexandre Pato could be also play right behind the forward. Alexandre Pato could play right behind the forward. As a center forward, he scored 90 goals as a center forward, 26 assists in his career. As a left winger, 18 goals, 9 assists. As a second striker, he scores 8 goals, 3 assists, 16 games as a second striker. He could play those positions. So what I'm saying here is Oscar can plug him where he feels it's going to work for the team. You're talking about players that have played high level football. So they can play, you know, different positions right up top. He has a lot of options depending on who are we facing. So we're going to be facing the Sounders, depending on how tactically they stand up the day of the game. They're going to study the tape, and they're going to plug in their weapons. Maybe one day Benji may start because he thinks this is going to be better. So the good thing here that I'm trying to say is that there's depth. There's depth
Mm-hmm.
in certain key positions now with high level skill players.
No,
And
absolutely.
to the 24 people live right now with us, give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. And then any opinion you have about the depth of the team, David?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, in the past, if you've been an Orlando City fan, we have seen our team rolling out with 3 goalkeepers because we just don't have enough people for an 18. We had seen players completely out of position, like the one time that we went uh, with Josue Colman as a striker because
Oh
everybody
man.
else was injured. So, this time we have players that can play multiple roles, players that feel comfortable, players that are talented. And I think that's going to be the game changer this year. With Gaston Gonzales, he has scored more goals than Facundo Torres. All these guys, Facundo Torres, Gaston Gonzales, and Ercan are guys that have a nose for goal, but also are team players. They are not selfish. They understand. Hey, my partner has a better shot. Let me pass the ball to him. And I think that's that type of intelligent football is what's gonna create the opportunities with Gaston Gonzalez. Since he hasn't been confirmed by the team, obviously, I can tell you I have a source in Santa Fe It's a beat writer that covers Union de Santa Fe, and he provided me with evidence that this is definitely happening. And Luis has been part of the small group of people that have seen it. So this obviously is coming to pass, as you guys know. Ercan Cara completely comes out of left field. Like I said on my vlog, my father-in-law's parents were born in Vienna. Uh, I've been to uh, Austria in 2012. They love their football. Vienna is in the eastern part of Austria. It's just like Florida. So a lot of people were saying, "Oh, how's it gonna do with the altitude?" Because they have this idea that Austria is like the Sound of Music, big mountains and all that, and that's only the western part of the country. So he's of Turkish ancestry. I found out, but it doesn't matter. The kid has a nose for goal, and I have to tell you guys, the unfortunately, when it comes to the German speaking countries, Germany sort of like makes Switzerland, Austria, Luxembourg, um, it just shadows those countries, right? Because it's the bigger one, and the Bundesliga is such a huge league. But the Austrian league, it's at English championship level. So this is a guy that can definitely hold his own in a quality league. Now, Erkan and all these other guys are coming with the one problem, Luis, that is that they're coming from leagues that are in small countries, and they are coming to MLS. And MLS, the big monster of MLS, is always travel. Every time Nani has been interviewed about his experience in MLS, he said he underestimated the travel. That the if you Austria is a small country, so that's gonna be an issue when he comes here. That amount of time to get adapted. But I have to tell you guys that each pitch is 120 yards long, 75 wide. The ball is round and the pitch is green. That does not change, and there's 11 men on each side. So I don't expect, like in the past, we were told to give players time 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks later. We're still waiting. I don't expect these guys to have a problem getting used to each other, or having to spend weeks and weeks and weeks trying to figure things out. So I am very excited about these signings. They are not cheap signings. Not that the amount of money that we're paying for them says that they're better than somebody else. But the fact of the matter is, these are players that people want. And in like I told Luis before, when you see a Facundo Torres that wants to come to Orlando, that fought to get Peñarol to sell him to Orlando, because Peñarol wanted to hold back and say, "Oh, well, let's wait for Europe and all that." Same thing with Gaston Gonzales. Gaston Gonzales' agent told him he was going to kill his career if he came to MLS. Obviously, Gaston Gonzalez is a smart man, and he can make a decision on his own. So, my friends, that's the type of players that we're getting. We're getting young, talented, crafty guys, and our roster is starting to look more and more and more dangerous. And I have to tell you the one thing about the young cats that we're having in Orlando, and that's Rivera, that's Williams, that's Holiday. These guys, not only are they representing each of their national teams, they are teens, guys. These are teens. Holiday just turned 19 a couple of days ago. Um, Williams will be turning 18 this year, and this year, uh, Rivera will be graduating high school. All right,
Wow,
so you know what I'm saying. I mean, this is the type of
telling
quality
you.
that we have at this young age.
Yeah, this they're claiming Ercan Carr is going to be a DP, as alongside Facundo Torres, obviously, and Ercan Carr he's the fifth most expensive player in Rapid Vienna. He's worth market value is 3.3 million, and he has 14 goals, 4 assists in 2021 in a league that is so physical like the Austrian league. It's a level, obviously, it's Bundesliga caliber. I mean, they're so close to Germany. It's Bundesliga caliber. I believe, Lions Block was saying, his movement's so good. It is, it's exciting to see. Just imagine Orlando City for Dom Dwyer paid half of that. So for half more, we're getting probably a three times more talented player. That's probably going to score double the goals he ever scored in Orlando City, hopefully, right?
Yeah,
And Taulan Coca says, Kara and Pato up top. Yeah, I would
dangerous.
I would say a healthy Pato with Facundo Torres on left wing, Gaston Jimenez on right wing. Imagine that, and then you have Eric and Pato right below the center forward as a second striker. I think that's dangerous for any team you want to see it. It's a player that's played in Serie A, that has won titles, has played Copa Americas, have won championships. So Brett Carl says, does Kara speak English or Spanish? She speaks English more than likely, and probably
And
German,
German.
and
And
German,
probably Turkish as well.
and Turkish. Yeah, more than likely so. But this is one of the targets that according to Transfer Market, and Transfer Market, and I mean the source itself, the journalist, his name is Manuel Beth, right? But he works for Transfer Market, and if you have not heard of Transfer Market, is one of the most reputable transfer. When there's a rumor for Transfer Market and on their saying and acknowledging something per a source, there is a 98.9% that this is right. There's highly, you know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I trust Transfer Market. I mean, they use it in South America to get players in some leagues. Just to give you guys an idea, it's hilarious, but it is true. And then the other player that people have been talking about, and just to kind of switch it up a little bit, also is Gaston Gonzalez, right? Gaston Gonzalez.
Correct.
Um, you know, here he is. Is he a lion? What are what's your source? What's cooking?
You know that clip that I sent you, the audio clip that I sent you, Luis, about this situation. Remember what I'm talking about?
Hmm.
Okay. I showed that to somebody of a lot of clout, and that person didn't say yes, didn't say no, but sent me an emoji, and I believe I have shared that with you.
Yeah,
And okay, so I take it for what it is. My source in Argentina is pretty solid. The person on the audio clip is in Gaston's camp, in the inner circle of Gaston Gonzalez camp, and there has been already three or four different sources that have confirmed that this is happening. So I am 100% that this is going to happen. If it, some people are saying that it's done. Some people are saying no. The fact is that the same people who right now are still doubting that Facundo Torres is an Orlando City Lion are going to doubt that this is going to happen. But Gaston Gonzalez definitely is coming. Now, this is one of the things in our negotiations with Unión de Santa Fe, we allow them to keep the player till May.
yeah, because
This
they're
is
playing Sudamericana, right?
correct.
Yeah,
Why? Because the team is broke, my friends, and that's what my source said. If you want to know more about this story, well, if you speak Spanish, tiro de esquina, tomorrow we're going to be recording and you're going to find out more.
yeah, sure.
Uh, the problem with Union is that they're broke and really need the money. So what they say, hey, let's keep the guy so we can go to these tournaments, generate more money, and you can take him at this price if you allow us to do that. And Orlando City was like, sure. For us, it's not such a big deal because basically we're looking at 2.5 or 2 months to 2.5 months without the player. He's gonna be coming in the summer window, and is gonna impact less on our budget for our roster. So it's a smart move on us because it reduces the impact that this player will have, and he's gonna be a player that is gonna be already ready to go. And again, he's coming in at a time of the year where we are well known to just basically drop the ball. No pun intended.
Yeah, I mean, it's an exciting right winger, Gaston Gonzales. My source is, he said it. He's a very reputable journalist from Teis Sports, which is the biggest sports channel, bigger than ESPN in Argentina. He's a producer there for a couple of shows. He's also a journalist, Cesar Luis Merlo. I want to say hello to him as well if he's listening or he's watching. He pretty much says that the deal was already, it's already, pretty much they agreed, you know. Both parties have agreed, and 3.2 million, 70% of his transfer. He's
Mm-hmm.
gonna stay. He's gonna stay in Unión de Santa Fe until May to play Copa Sudamericana.
20
Yeah,
years old.
and the reason why he's staying, just like, I mean, I don't know if they're broke or not. I mean, that's not my source. What my source told me, but when you play Copa Sudamericana, when you play those tournaments for Conmebol, you um, you get paid. So the further you get, your team gets cash. So your team gets cash. So essentially, some teams even qualify to those tournaments because you get cash to qualify to the tournament, and then you get cash when you advance. So if you advance groups, you get a sum. If you
Mm-hmm.
advance quarterfinals, you get another sum. And these are
Correct.
hefty millions of dollars, right? Millions of dollars. So obviously, Unión de Santa Fe wants to cash in, right? You want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that they get the most competitive team to make it the furthest, right, in Copa Sudamericana, and they have that chance. So he's a 20-year old we're signing. He has 46 games played total for Unión de Santa Fe, 7 goals, 7 assists, and he was linked before with several other clubs in South America, in Ecuador, in Peru as well. The Sporting Cristal, one of the teams there, one of the big three, was interested to sign him as well. I know that for a fact. Also, teams in Chile and Brazil. So this is a kid that has a lot of future. People want to sign him because they know what he's going to give to a club. And Orlando City, according to Cesar Luis Merlo, has him on the bag, right? Obviously, you understand they're going to take a while to probably announce or agree
Yeah.
fully and sign everything, but it's pretty much they're saying that it's a done deal, right?
Yeah, and I want to expand on something. One of the reasons why Argentinian football took such a big hit is because in Argentina, the government, the central government, allowed each province to establish COVID protocols as they saw fit, and a lot of provinces closed their borders. So basically, people couldn't even go in or out to other parts of the country, and that's what happened in Santa Fe province, and they basically had no people attending the games. The league at some point stopped. Uh, Union is hoping to grab the money from the sale and invest it on new training facilities. It looks like a theme in South America right now because Peñarol is doing the same with Facundo Torres. In fact, they're building a facility and they're gonna name him after him. With that said, that's the situation that is going on. I see a question. Yes. Do we not? No. I have no idea. I only know from
Probably,
person.
probably if they get knocked out of the Copa Sudamericana, it might be even sooner.
Yes. Correct. Correct.
Because again, it depends if you get further, right? If you get knocked out of the tournament, I think he's ready to leave. I mean, I would think, right, personally,
Hmm.
because I've seen. I mean, Peruvian teams get knocked out right away. So they play a couple games, they're knocked out because they're terrible. So and but they put May because they have the hopes that they're gonna play quarterfinals or maybe get further up, right?
Correct.
So and they want to cash in. So that's the story. Tulan Coca says, If we get a healthy Pato, we're winning the league. You heard it here first.
Let's hope.
No, no, let's definitely hope, right? And when it comes to, it says here, Brett Carl, it says here, could we sign him now and loan him back to Santa Fe and use him sooner?
That's an interesting question. I don't know if MLS will allow that.
I don't think so. I think,
Right, right. I
yeah,
don't. That's a great question.
yeah,
I
because
can't say that I know, because I guys remember that the player signs with the league, so I don't think there's those mechanisms. I will have to look into that. That's a great question, Brett.
yeah, that's a good question. But
Yeah.
definitely, personally, I think that they agreed to that as to make sure that the Orlando gets the player. So,
Mm-hmm.
and they've already probably put down some cash right there just to secure the sale. And it is a negotiations game, and
Yeah.
sometimes with clubs from down south, like again, people don't know, the MLS, how things here. Time is money, right? Time is money.
Mm-hmm.
In
Mm-hmm.
South America, sometimes in some countries, things go like the sloth in Zootopia.
Yeah.
It is like that. It is just the culture, unfortunately. So
Absolutely.
this
Absolutely.
is here, Lions blog. It won't be that long of a wait. It's probably only 10 games at most. We don't play our first midweek game until like June. Yeah, you're right. Joshua Tall, it says here, I am looking forward to seeing these players play for Orlando City this upcoming season. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
exciting times. It's definitely exciting times, right? And talking about preseason, and Orlando City postponed his first game,
Right against New York
uh,
City.
right, against New York City. We have the information here as well. Orlando City preseason scrimmage versus NYCFC has been canceled. They'll play against Minnesota. People are going to see Inchy. I know what the
Yeah.
hell. I know. February the 3rd, right? February the 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
So, and, I don't know if you guys have seen, this is here. Brett Carl, what is our depth at left back? Let me see here. Let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, we only have Moutinho and Smith. Uh,
And Smith is it was a beautiful accident that the man it can play in that, but that's not his natural position either. So right now, if you want to be technical, Moutinho is the only guy there. He's not trustworthy because of his health issues, which Orlando City is addressing. Thank you. They just hire a new physical therapy. I don't know if it's a technician or a therapist. I don't know what's the official title, but I'm glad that they're addressing those issues in house rather than depending heavily on Orlando Health. As great of um, a partner as they have been, and they have been a customer of mine in the past. We just had a lot of soft tissue injuries that we couldn't explain, because then automatically these players go to other leagues and they appear to be healed miraculously. But I have to say, we definitely have to find a natural left back in that position. I think Moutinho, great guy. Personally, I have spoken with him a thousand times. If you ask him, his greatest moment was scoring against LAFC by his childhood hero, Nani, with the assist. And that's, if you ask him, he will tell you that he's happy in Orlando. He wants to get better, but we need to allow him time to heal. I believe we can get another player. Emmanuel Mas was a stopgap type of signing. He's back in Argentina with
yeah.
Estudiantes de La Plata. We wish him well, but he was an older player, and he got roasted a couple of times. And that second goal by Nashville was all on his own fault, I will say. But do you think? Ooh, Dos Santos at left back. Interesting, Gavin. That's a good one. Um, who knows? That's a great question. Oh, by the way, Gavin or Lions blog in his channel on YouTube, he has great scouting videos about all these signings that we've been doing. Go check them out. They're about 30 minutes a piece, and there's a lot of information there. And I do appreciate the effort that he's putting into them. So go check him out. With to sort of try to answer that question, we have seen already that we have a lot of players that can play different positions, a lot of players that have versatility. Look at that,
Right.
a big word for our team. That in the past we were very rigid. Do you put a Carlos Rivas in a position
Oh,
where he
no way.
plays? You know what I'm saying? Anything other
Let,
than the left wing?
let's
Do
turn
you do
everything
that?
off and go. Oh my God.
Exactly. So now we have players as Luis has put up on the graph. We have players that can fill in different places. They might not be the best, right? Because they are wrong-footed for that particular position, but they can contribute, and that's what we need. That's what we need. We need guys that can hold the fort until that person gets back from international duty or recovers from injury. And that's I think, Luis, that will be the theme of the season: versatility. We finally have a team that we can mold according to our needs.
Joshua tells us, do you think we can get another left back or no? Probably. I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
absolutely. I mean, there were talks about the DeAndre Jetlin.
Hmm.
Jetlin. You can definitely see. I mean, somebody. I mean, you have to understand the under 17 academy has performed it, and they're champs. There's definitely some good players there. I would take a look, OCB as well. But yeah, I mean, I believe they can probably get another left back for sure. I know Oscar probably. There's more signings. I mean, Musi, he had an interview and he said with USA Today, I think it was, or Orlando Sentinel, I don't remember. And he said there's going to be like 4 or 5 more signings.
Correct.
So, this is only the beginning. Matthew says, "What's your opinion on Pato's second chance?" It's not costing the club a lot of money, and he's committed to stay healthy. He's committed to. He has a bonus structure, regardless of how many goals he scores, how many games he plays. So I don't think the club is in the losing end of the deal if
Absolutely
something
not.
if something may occur. You know,
And it Go
there
ahead,
were
sorry.
there was a lot of hype in Brazil about his comeback to Sao Paulo, but the quality of life in Orlando, he loves the city, he loves the fans, he
Hmm.
he he fell in love with the city. And he wants to stay here. He wants to spend he wants to possibly retire here,
Hmm.
possibly do that, and he's still under a good age.
Right.
I think healthy, he's dangerous.
No, absolutely. And
Of
I
course.
have to tell you guys one thing that doesn't transpire on the football things on the pitch. He's a fantastic presence in the locker room, well liked individual, hardworking player, a person of faith. And him and his wife, they are in the Brazilian community here in Orlando. They are a very strong presence, and you need those type of guys. You need feel good guys in the locker room, motivational guys. What happened last year to him was unfortunate. I think it was such a monumental failure upon Orlando City because we basically were putting a lot of eggs on that basket with Daryl DK at the time in England. And unfortunately, he just, first game, he goes injured for basically practically the whole season. That does not mean that this man doesn't have the quality and the talent. We have seen the videos, we have seen the highlight reel, and one of the things that Gavin pointed out in his podcast was the fact that we saw so much quality in that game against Nashville, last game of the season in Orlando, where an inch lower from the bar and that would have been a golazo. And right now, shirts would have been sold, and we would have hosted a game, and all these sorts of things, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. I think there's a man in Pato, in Alexander Pato, that wants to prove the haters wrong. I have that type of personality. I hate when people challenge me and think I can't do it because of my height or where I'm from or the way I talk, or they just think I'm not smart enough. And Pato has a lot to prove. He wants to shut them up, and as fans, we have to give it the opportunity. And again, this is a great opportunity for Orlando City. Is a player that is not costing us a lot of money. We are getting a great deal on this one. So this is it. To give you an example, imagine that you rented a minivan and you show up at the counter and say, "Hey, all we have is Maseratis. Do you want to take one at the same price?" What are you gonna say? Of course. So this is what we're getting.
Yeah, and again, before closing, I want to thank everybody. We've been over 24 people today. We're growing little by little. I know it's baby steps. Spread the word to everybody. We have about 17 people online right now. Spread the word about LPO podcast, Loud and Proud Orlando. Um, I'm working right now with Orlando City Communications to go back into the press room, and I'm going to be building a website. We're going to have some articles, pictures. We're going to get also more people on the show. We're going to bring the fans. We're going to bring you guys. We're going to send the link of if you guys have a webcam, or if you guys just want to go in without your camera on, that's fine. We can discuss and chat. That'll probably go on the next episode next Monday. We're going to start. We want to interact with you more, make you more part of the show as well. Speak your piece, speak your mind about the club, obviously with a love and respect, right? Always. Um, and follow us, right? We are on Spotify as well and an Apple Podcast as Loud and Proud Orlando. All our first two episodes are there. If this is the first time watching or listening to us on Twitter or on Facebook or on YouTube, make sure to follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're there as well. We're on Facebook, YouTube. Subscribe, hit the notification bell to get all the notifications. We also are on Twitter right now. This is our Twitter account, Loud and Proud Orlando. Follow it. All the shows will be live also here. We're going to put some news, rumors, things like that. We're going to try to get as many followers as we can. We already have a good amount of followers since we started. So I want to thank for all the city fans for their support. Myself, I'm trying to get back. Even though I'm not part of Aries Sports this year, moving forward, I am going to get back into the press room. I want to thank Orlando City Communications. I'm working on getting back all the media emails for the club and working on all of that and dedicating to Loud and Proud Orlando. This is going to be a project that's going to be huge. We're going to have also our own members to go and take pictures and bring different type of art into the community and different ideas, and also bring the fans into our podcast so we can obviously discuss all things about Orlando City as well. When it comes to Facebook, right? We're on Facebook as well, and
Mhm.
for people that love Facebook, I'm gonna go ahead and start telling you guys that we are here as this is my personal Facebook, but it's facebook.com/LPO um, underscore loud and proud. There you go, right here. This is our Facebook page. Follow us on Facebook as well if that's where you prefer to see us. Feel free. We're right here. We are already about, this is where all the posts come as well, right? This is, we're live right here, as you can see. Two people. Thank you so much. I know the algorithm of Facebook is changed completely, but we are on Facebook as well. So want to let you guys know to follow us and subscribe to all our channels and the way to reach us. Myself, I'm on Instagram and on Twitter, very active, as you guys can tell, at Pineda underscore ORL. Dave is under at Florida underscore man 76. And we're going to read the last three comments here. It says here, do you think we should press more this season? I think we're going to have Joshua less turnovers because we got players like Araujo, that are coming in, and you guys should check out footage of him. He's fantastic. And we have also Urso, and coming back, and Mendes
Hmm.
healthy. So I think we're gonna definitely keep the ball more in the mid. Matthew, still mad about that Nashville game. Was screaming at my TV when Dika scored. Yeah,
I was
same
there,
here,
so I
right?
know.
And talking about that actually is a good point. Right before we close, I wanna, he just got signed to WBA. Daryl Dike right here. Um, it's a top striker, and he's injured, right? He got injured. He pulled his hamstring. He's gonna miss approximately about 10 days. They don't know yet the magnitude of his injury, but he will miss 10 days with WBA in the championship. But we wish him here a rapid recovery. Obviously, we want to see him
Absolutely.
full blown and playing with the national team as well. So and also Pedro Galese, he's playing one key match against Colombia coming up as well for Peruvian qualifiers. Personally, what I've seen of him, he is looking great. So people that are saying that he's missing preseason, that Mason is going to take his place, there's no way. I love Mason too. He's a great keeper. Greeny as well. Then we have three great keepers. But I think Galese, the level of competition he's getting right now in his off season, his time off, it's on a higher level than MLS.
Hmm.
And if he's outperforming everybody in his national team, I think we're gonna get a
Correct.
healthy Galese. I think we're gonna get a Galese that's gonna perform um, the same way he was. So
Hmm.
definitely excited for that. Anything else? Last comments, Dave, before we close.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank everybody again for joining us. And also, if you're watching this in the recorded version or on the audio version podcast, thank you very much for the support. We're just two fans that just want to, hype up our team and reach out to as many as possible. Lastly, for those that don't know, I have a vlog for Orlando City, Spanish and English, the legendary David on YouTube, and Tiro Esquina, which is the Spanish podcast that covers Orlando City. And obviously, we're going to be talking about all these topics in Spanish. So thank you very much, guys. Definitely next week we'll be back, right, Luis? Talking
Yeah, we'll be
about
back Monday. Yeah, Monday we'll be back. Probably, hopefully, there's a couple of announcements of new
absolutely.
players. Hopefully, I know they were asking about the Cara deal.
Well, I have information about that, so, Luis. I'm
No, no,
sorry.
no.
Kara has a European Union passport, so his immigration status is faster than the guys from Latin America. That's a fact.
Yeah,
And lastly, all the sources in Austria already say that he is no longer with
Rapid Vienna.
Rapid Vienna. So you make out whatever you want out of that.
That's right. That's right. And I'm sure that there's gonna be memes and things like that. I'm still gonna do my due diligence to inform. I mean, I'm a journalist, so my duty is to inform you. So whatever I get, I put my source there always. I don't just say, "Hey, this is happening." No, I put my source always there. And I want to thank every single one for your support. And I know this is going to be a huge project for Dave and I, and we're gonna definitely try to make the best content for Orlando City and for Orlando Pride and for OCB. And because I grew up in Orlando, as a lot of people don't know. I've grown. I came from Peru at age 15. I grew up in Orlando. I met my wife there. I got married there. I went to school there. Went to Olympia High School. I went to Dr. Phillips for a couple times, a couple years before Olympia opened up. I went to UCF. I'm a UCF grad, so my life is Orlando. I love that city. My parents live there. I've lived there. It's my city. So I know how it is for a lot of people living there. So it's not like I'm just a face in Twitter. I'm real. I'm tangible. You can always reach me. You can always, I'm very happy and very appreciative of every single like and share and that you guys give us and give me on my Twitter as well. So thank you so much. And obviously, the more people watch this show, more than likely, the more content we'll be able to bring to you. So the more support we get, the better. And only good things are going to come for LPO. Only good things are going to come. I'm telling you, I'm very, very competitive and very committed, just like Facundo Torres, to Orlando City. So thank you so much, guys. And I guess we're out, right? I guess we're
That's
out.
it. Vamos, Orlando.
Vamos Orlando. Vamos Orlando. Thank you guys. Have a good one.